And Telemundo is huge in Texas. No reason, just people like Telemundo here. Um, and so that's how I watched Mexican wrestling, and so it took me a little while to get used to it, and I could only watch it for like a little bit, and then I was just like, my brain hurts too much. But this one I could watch because they were doing them. Yeah, I mean, it's just. But I wish they had a better crowd. Because if they had a better crowd, that would have been huge. And it makes you wonder, what was WCW thinking? Because nothing WCW did made sense. I swear to God, it felt like they were throwing darts at the wall and going, just get us him, or like get him that, or because Vince had locked down all the good talent. And oh, they're the top stars. Oh, like Russo, I have a brilliant idea that will turn Hogan bad. Of course, Hogan turning bad is going to be huge. Because trust me, Hogan has probably wanted to play a bad guy for like ever. Because everyone likes to play good guys and bad guys in wrestling. And so, of course it was amazing. But like I said, I have to wonder how it's affecting American wrestling. As we see more traditional Mexican wrestling here in America, and we're seeing more of that energetic pace in AEW. And the refereeing is phenomenal in AEW. Except for Earl Hebner. Brian Hebner, by the way, his son is on NWA Storm, and that I thought was kind of nice. But yeah, it's a rather interesting thought on something that was awesome. I mean, it wasn't cultural appropriation. It was genuine Mexican wrestling, and it was the top tier of Mexican wrestling because they knew how to pace those matches perfect. And and all the other people had worked in Jericho, like guys like Jericho had worked in Mexico. So it was like you're getting the real thing. But then, which market are they? Oh, it's like I said, it's almost like they just throw. Let's create a Mexican franchise of WCW. We'll put it in Texas. Without understanding the rich cultural heritage that makes up Texas. Texas is a melting pot of cultures with a lot of influences. I mean, kolaches. Didn't know what those were until I moved here. Do I eat them now? No. They're not good for you. But then you can get great German food an hour away from here. Spation that I love. And that hurts my feelings that WCW would think that lowly of my beloved Texas. So I'm going, what the hell were they thinking? Did they just say, we'll just film it in Texas and... there were territories in Texas. And since Texas, you can drive 12 hours and you can still be in Texas. Texas was huge territories. And, like Austin was in sync with San Antonio's market. And like Waco was in sync with Dallas's market. I would assume stuff down in the South was in connection with the stuff from Telemundo. And it's on Telemundo, so because that's what they decided to do afterwards was just put Lucha Libre on. The real thing. But it was fascinating. Because honestly, the real thing is awesome. And like I said, it's a different culture. Wrestling in Mexico is a different culture. More about because they were entertainment, where America was more about being an athletic show or a fight between two people with rules. To more of a entertainment. And Mexico, I think, has always been pure entertainment. Because it's very entertaining. I don't understand a word of what they're saying, but it is very entertaining. And there's no commentators, so it drives me nuts. There's just things I'm used to. You've got to check it out, because it's amazing. It's amazing. It's probably some of the best Mexican wrestling I've ever seen in my life. And I don't say that lightly. I can only take so much of it in one sitting, because I'm still very new to that. I haven't adjusted yet to that style. And there's different styles all over the place in wrestling. There's like a WWE style. WWE has created its own style. WCW had a style, and there's each thing is unique to that region, or versus the national level versus the world. I mean, let's be honest. Wrestling is being broadcast all over the world. So, and it's influencing things like wrestling in Africa. I forget which country it is, but like professional wrestling is like the biggest thing there for them. And they love it. I mean, that's the interesting, fascinating thing. We like a display of athleticness. And Mexican style is very athletic. And that's one thing I like about the current. It's very athletic, and I like I like to see athletes, but I don't need to see as much jumping around and tossing in the ring and going, who's in that? Why are there 6 guys on top of that one guy? Did he get pinned? Oh, I'm so lost. But this is amazing. So you gotta check it out. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this video. But, I mean, I have the highest respect for Mexican wrestling. I think it's awesome. I wish I could follow it, but I'm used to a slower American pace. And AEW's kind of getting that frantic energy going in it. And what the whole point of this video was, Jim Cornette does not like AEW or Next. Because I was like, he didn't mention the MJW turn. Because I'm like, he came in at the end of the ring to like, because they were all beating up, Jericho was beating a whole bunch of people up, and MJF came walking into the ring with a chair, and then all of a sudden was like, we're friends, and and then I got all confused about my dog Pockets, because dark. Every time I see him now, I don't call him Sheamus Orange or whatever, Orange Sheamus or whatever his name is. I call him my dog Pockets. I call him my dog Pockets. And he like puts his hands in his pocket and jumps off the top rope. I was like, okay. It's almost like he's the manager of Best Friends. I don't get Best Friends. I just don't. But it's cool. I mean, I like to see the inclusiveness that they're doing, and they're very inclusive, and I like that. And they have a lot of diversity. That's cool. Those are cool attributes in a wrestling federation. Acceptance. Openness and, positions for LGBT members. They had the first trans woman wrestler ever. That was pretty cool. We're seeing some historics from AEW. But I think they're boring Jim Cornette to tears. He's just like, no. Just does not fit his style. Neither of them. And he's having OVW flashbacks with Next. And I bet you throughout Next and AEW, he's yelling at his screen. Because if he was actually listening in, he would hear Jim Cornette on the first episode. There were moments where Jim Cornette's like with an MJF fight. Like at one point he's like, this guy is like, what? He's looking at the sheet trying to get, they're just, they basically took like a legend and dropped him into a war zone and said, go. And, he's adapting because he's a professional and he's a masterpiece of ring announcing. And Tony Schiavone's good too. I mean, these are seasoned veterans in. So, but he would have noticed Jim Cornette would have noticed Jim Ross said some things. I mean, at one point with the AT&T muscles, you hear Jim Cornette and Jim Ross going, "We'll talk about this in the meeting," and I rewound it several times, and I'm like, holy moly, he said that. So Jim Cornette's too busy yelling at his screen, and he's having his OVW flashbacks. He's like, ah! Because Jim, and don't lie, Jim, tell the truth. You're trying to be fair, but I hate to say it, but times have changed. That's why you get called the grumpy old man on the couch, but Because Jim Cornette knows how to coach wrestling. But he's also a stickler for detail. And he's an obsessive fan. So that was my observation. He's just ranting and raving at both of them, going, these 3-hour marathon slugs! He's just in love with the NWA stuff because it's like a 1 hour, not a commitment. There's the frantic pace of studio, which is always was frantic. It was entertaining. Studio was, it's just entertaining, just, it's that reaction. It's the crowd reacting to the chaos, and it's the way Jim explains it. Anyways, yeah, that's why I only watch AEW and I don't watch Next, because I'm like, I can only commit to so much wrestling a week. I got other things I got to do with my life, like work. But yeah. And I mean, it's not suable because I believe that. I mean, Jim knows his game. He knows what draws. Because that's how the territory system worked. You had a circuit. And the gate told you who was drawing and who wasn't drawing, and there was ways to get things, there was ways of getting heat and ways of getting drawn. And MJ turning is like a classic old school heel. And all of a sudden he comes to the help of the good guys? Huh? Because you're just like waiting for the foot to drop to see what he's going to do. Because that would completely change his character. And you're just like, that nuance. And he doesn't see that. Because he's probably either just kind of not watching it much, or, as I'd like to imagine it, screaming like a mad dog at his TV, writing angry notes down. And just going, I can't deal with this. I don't care. Give me my NWA. I wonder if you watched SmackDown. The second one. He'll talk about it in one of his episodes. But, yeah. Long rambly video that of me just kind of making myself laugh as I think of absurdness. And talk about an amazing, you've got to see. For those that were like, what was WCW thinking, people? To, where are the darts they were throwing? Did they just like throw darts at Southwest nation states and hit Texas? And say, okay, we're going to promote it in Texas without understanding that rich tapestry that is Texas? It's its own country. But it was some of the most amazing Mexican wrestling you will ever see done in a Telemundo style. It was spot on. But then they realized, why don't we just put the real stuff? Why don't we just put the stuff that's filmed down in Mexico on? That seems to be popular. They don't have to like jazz it all up with all that pomps and circumstances and the dancing and, you know, the cute girls that are in the tight tights and, you know, it's Telemundo. Alright? And that was Telemundo, like, I haven't seen Telemundo since, like, 2012. So, I mean, it might have changed. But it's just, there was a certain style, you know, to it. And it was always entertaining. And beautiful women. There is a call. I'm not even going there. It's just too complicated. But yeah, I mean, you got to check it out. And Jim Cornette is that's the only thing I get. That's the way I'm imagining it. That's seriously the way I'm imagining it.